Okay, now here's a very interesting question based on electrostatics and rotational motion and simple harmonic motion. Okay, let's go through the question once. A point charge Q1 equal to minus 125 microcoulomb is fixed at the center of an insulated disk of mass 1 kg. This is the disk. At the center of the disk we have charge Q1. Okay, then the disk rests on a rough horizontal plane. Another charge Q2 equal to 125 microcoulomb is fixed vertically above the center of the disk at a height h equal to 1 meter. So this is the height h equal to 1 meter. This is your charge Q2. Okay. After the disk is displaced slightly in the horizontal direction, friction is sufficient to prevent slipping. Find the time period of oscillation of the disk. Okay. Important thing is that displaced slightly. We have small displacement. So basically we have to like prove that this is performing SHM for small displacements and find time period. Very easy. So I'll be solving this question using three different methods. First method is based on force. The second method is kind of a mixture of force and energy. And the third method will be based on energy. Okay. So let's first draw the general diagram that we'll be using for all the three methods. So this is your charge Q2 at the top. This is the ground. Okay, so here is my disk. Okay, so the disk is displaced horizontally by a distance x. Okay, this is the center of the disk. This height is h. Okay, and now let's draw a diagonal over here. So this is the line connecting the two charges. Okay, now what is the length of this line? The length of this line will be root of h square plus x square, and let's say this angle is theta. Okay, so force F will be acting in this direction. The two charges have opposite sign. The force F will be attractive in nature. They are attracting each other. Now this is a vertical line. This angle will be theta. So the force F will have a horizontal component F sine theta. Okay. Now let's understand something. The question says that displaced slightly means displacement is small. X is very small. X is small. So what happens? So if x is small, I can write down sine theta is approximately equal to tan theta is approximately equal to x by h. Okay, exactly equal to anyways, but yeah, x by h. And what is f equal to? One more thing, we have under root h square plus x square will be approximately equal to under root h square because x is negligible. So this is equal to h. Then I have the value of f. So f will be how much? K q1 q2 by h square. Okay. K q1 q2 by square of this length, which is root of h square plus x square, but this is approximately h. So I get this formula for f. Okay. So now this is how I will be using my method 1. Okay, based on force. So on the disk, the force has a horizontal component f sine theta. This radius is r. So about the instantaneous axis of rotation, we have torque. So about instantaneous axis of rotation, f sine theta into r is the torque. This will be equal to I alpha. So f is what? K q1 q2 by h square. Sine theta is x by h into r will be what? I about instantaneous axis of rotation will be, since it is a disk, the I will be 3 by 2 m r square. And what about alpha? So the center of the disk has acceleration ac, then alpha can be written as ac by r. So r will get cancelled out. Then I can write down ac will be equal to K Q1 Q2 by H cube into 2 by 3 m, and we have x over here. So as you can see that the acceleration is proportional to x. Acceleration is depending on x power 1. Okay. So this is in fact the condition for SHM, right? Ignoring the minus sign, AC is equal to omega square x. Omega is the angular frequency of SHM. Fine. So the time period will be 2 pi by omega. So 2 pi under root 3 h cube m by 2 k q1 q2. I'm ignoring the minus sign for q1 or q2. Okay. So now we can calculate the time period. So t will be 2 pi root 3 times h is 1, so 1 cube is 1, mass is 1 kg again, 2 times 9 into 10 power 9, k is 9 into 10 power 9 into 125 into 125. I'm ignoring the minus sign. So this will give you the time period. So 2 pi into 0.13 divided by 125 into 10 power 4. When you simplify this further, this will be equal to 6.5 into 10 power minus 7 seconds. This is the time period. Okay, this was the method 1. Now let's try the method number 2. So method number 2 is based on energy. So what is the potential energy between the charges? K q1 q2 by. What is the distance between q1 and q2? Root of h square plus x square. So root of h square plus x square. Okay, I'm ignoring minus sign. I'm just ignoring minus sign everywhere. Okay, so fx will be what? Dou u by dou x in terms of magnitude, partial derivative. If you put the minus sign, u will be minus k q1 q2 by root of h square plus x square, and here we get minus dou u by dou x. So this will be k q1 q2 d by dx of h square plus x square minus 1 by 2. Okay, so you will get fx is equal to k q1 q2 times minus 1 by 2 and h square plus x square power minus 3 by 2, and then we get 2x. This is the differentiation. So we get fx is equal to minus k q1 q2 by h square plus x square power 3 by 2 into x. So if you ignore x in front of h, then we get fx will be equal to minus k q1 q2 x divided by h cube. So this fx is nothing but f sine theta that we already calculated. Okay, this is f sine theta. Okay, and then again we follow the same method 1 and we can find the time period. So this was your method number 2. Now we will come to method number 3. Okay, so for method number 3 we will be using energy. Okay, so let's draw the system again. This is your charge q2, this is the ground, this is the disk. Okay, now this is the positive direction of x-axis, so everything we have to assume in the positive direction. Velocity v in this direction, acceleration of the center of mass also in the same direction. Okay, and this angular speed is omega. Omega will be v by r for pure rolling, correct? And this is the diagonal, correct? So this diagonal will be root of h square plus x square. Fine. Now potential energy at this moment will be how much? K q1 q2 by root of h square plus x square, and there will be a minus sign. Okay, kinetic energy K will be what? Half mv square plus half I about center of mass into omega square. So mv square by 2 plus half IC will be for disk mr square by 2, and omega square will be what? V square by r square. So we get this to be equal to 3mv square by 4. Okay, now total potential energy plus kinetic energy will always remain constant. So on differentiating with respect to time, what do we get? Du by dt plus dk by dt will be equal to, derivative of constant is 0. Okay, so what is du by dt? Minus k small k q1 q2 d by dt of h square plus x square power minus 1 by 2 plus 3 by 4 m d by dt of v square. This will be 0. So let's simplify this. So you will get minus k q1 q2, apply chain rule. So first minus 1 by 2. Okay, then h square plus x square power we will get minus 3 by 2. Alright, and then we get 2x dx by dt plus 3 by 4 m, and derivative of v square will give you 2v dv by dt. This is equal to 0. Okay, so when you simplify this you will get k q1 q2, 2 will cancel out, x by, again h square plus x square will be approximately h square because x is very small, so this will become finally equal to h cube in denominator. Okay, and now dx by dt will be what? That will be velocity v plus 3 by 2 mv into dv by dt will be ac equal to 0. So again v will get cancelled out from the equation, so we will get ac will be equal to minus k q1 q2 by h cube, then 2 by 3 m, and x. We found acceleration of center of mass as a function of x. This is the same formula that we have obtained earlier over here. Okay, except for the minus sign, because in this derivation I ignored the minus sign, but this is exactly the same formula. So using the three methods we found the same result, AC equal to minus omega square x. Again it came back. Okay, and then we can find the time period. All right.